Rick Jeanst. Born in Quebec in 1985, Rick Jeanst is a Canadian actor, artist and, unbelievably, a model. Unbelievable as a result of nearly the entire of Jeanist's physique is roofed in macabre skeletal corpse tattoos. Jeanist's dwelling skeleton look earned him the moniker Zombie Boy, and whereas his look could not enchantment to most individuals, it definitely caught the creativeness of singer-woman Gaga, who featured the Canadian in her 2011 video Born This Way. Manan Mondal. Referred to as the Melted Man of Delhi, Manan Mondal has refused reconstructive surgical procedure to his closely disfigured face so he can proceed to beg for a dwelling. New Delhi-born Mondal suffers from neurofibromatosis, a genetic illness that places tumors type alongside the nerves. Though horrifying to have a look at, the situation is neither painful nor cancerous, and Mondal is sort of joyful to stay as he's and make a very good dwelling from his life as a beggar. Sanjay Bhagat. From his earliest years, Sanjay Bhagat had been self-conscious about his oversized abdomen. In 1999, when the 36 years previous Indian farmer fell ailing with respiratory difficulties, it was thought large tumor is perhaps the issue. Nothing might put together the surgeons for the shock that awaited them as they minimize into Bhagat's distended stomach. Gallons of liquid poured from Bhagat's physique, and inside his abdomen the surgeons discovered a half-formed human physique full with arms, legs, toes, and genitalia. The extraordinarily uncommon dysfunction is named fetus in fetu, whereby a twin develops inside its sibling somewhat than within the womb as a separate entity. Gary Turner Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is an uncommon medical grievance which impacts the connective tissues within the physique. This impacts the pores and skin, joints, ligaments, and a few inside organs. In 1999, Englishman Gary Turner entered the Guinness Book of Records for the stretchiness of his skin. Turner can stretch the pores and skin on his abdomen out to nearly 6½ inches without ache, and pull the pores and skin on his neck up and over his mouth. In excessive instances the illness may be deadly and there may be, but, no recognized treatment. Romario dos Santos Alves. In an effort to emulate his childhood TV hero the Unbelievable Hulk, Brazilian bodybuilder Romario dos Santos Alves injected himself with an artificial drug known as synthol. The drug, a combination of oil and alcohol, labored to the extent that Alves boasted 25-inch biceps and bulging neck muscle tissues. However, there was a really huge drawback. The muscle tissues in Alves' arms solidified, and amputation was at one level thought of. Alves himself turned suicidal, and native youngsters referred to him as a monster due to his misshapen look. John Doyle, and web marketer from Liverpool in England, turned successful on YouTube for his eye-popping abilities. Actually, John Doyle could make his eyeballs come out of their sockets, and feels assured he can beat the present world document of 12mm. Forcing one's eyeballs to bulge from their sockets could or is probably not an expertise, however it's definitely eye-catching. Jono Lancaster. It's estimated that 1 in each 10,000 infants born in the UK suffers with Treacher-Collins syndrome. Jono Lancaster is a kind of infants born with no cheekbones. Jono's eyes droop downward, and he additionally has listening to his dad and mom couldn't take care of the way in which Jono regarded and gave him up for adoption instantly after he was born. Right now, after quite a few operations and battles with alcohol and despair, Jono accepts that he won't ever look normal, however has come to simply accept his life for what it's and is a contented individual. Danny Ramos Gomez. Billed because the Wolf Children, Danny Ramos Gomez and his brother Larry grew up as circus points of interest attributable to their faces being completely coated by thick hair. The Mexican brothers have an uncommon situation known as hypertrichosis, which causes unnatural hair progress, significantly on the top and chest. Gomez says he's fairly proud of the way in which he appears and has no want to shave his face, as an alternative, settling for the occasional trim on the native barber's store. Henry Damon. To say that Henry Damon is obsessive about the comedian guide character Crimson Cranium from the Avengers collection is to place it mildly. Venezuelan Damon has had his nostril eliminated, his eyes and face closely tattooed, and surgical modifications to his whole facial construction with a view to copy his comedian guide hero. Maybe even stranger than Damon's surgical transformation into Crimson Cranium is the truth that the procedures have been carried out by a medical college dropout. Chandra Wisnu. Indonesian Chandra Wisnu got here to be often known as the Bubble Skin Man due to eruptions of small blisters throughout his physique. Wisnu's blisters first appeared when he was 19. 5 years later the bubbles had unfold over his again, and by the age of 32 coated his whole physique. For over 30 years neither mainstream docs nor various healers might assess Wisnu together with his situation, and even diagnose the trigger. Wisnu was identified as having very excessive neurofibromatosis, which causes the formation of non-cancerous growths attributable to gene malfunction. Whereas there isn't any treatment for the situation and Wisnu's face and physique stay coated in unpleasant blisters no less than he can now get some aid from the painful itching that accompanies the illness.